Chat on. I start talking about my dream of coming to America. Uh, Feel something so far away when you live in a small town in Italy. But the lucky part about the small town I was is the fact that there was an American NATO base in it. So I was watching already and meeting kids that come from United States. I lived there for a brief time, and I developed a love for America because they were like cool in my eyes. And then when in middle school I read about the Constitution, and that was it. I was like, I love this First Amendment, second, third, all of them, and. Since since I can remember, I always want to dress up like with big jacket and look like the Happy Days, Fonzie, all those people. That was why. And then I was lucky enough that my ship, the ship that I was working on, went from South America to San Francisco. And when I passed the Golden Gate Bridge, I was like, "What is this? Beautiful!" And I took a taxi from where I was to San Francisco, the center, and I ended up in this. What was like maybe Johnny Rocket, something. I remember the red chairs inside. I sit down, order a burger. It was the best burger ever. I don't know. I want to live here. That's what I did. Mm, Guys start to think about, okay, I want to go live abroad, but then they start accumulating stuff that instead of lift you up so you can jump farther, you use them as an anchor. It can never leave. Let's say you get your car, your girlfriend there, uh, maybe a small business, and then you can never leave because that's when you depend on them or they depend on you. And so you have to just take the decision and say, okay, wait a second. I'm single. I'm healthy. I don't have any mortgages. Just go. And that's what people from Italy should do. I should do this podcast in Italian one day instead because everybody say, "Oh, you're lucky." No, you have to sacrifice a lot. Plus, I was in a place where I start to be well known for hair in Italy, and I have very good contracts and work for one of the best company in the world for hair, definitely the best one. And I took a chance, pick up my one luggage, and say, you know what, I'm gonna go. And I start. I was supposed to go work in West Palm Beach with the guy. His name is Cosmo and Company. Great guy from the same little town I'm from. And Cosmo offered me a job that would make 3 times much as I was making in Italy. And and he opened the house to me, everything. He said, "Whatever you want, I help you with." Uh, it was so tempting. Then though I came to Vegas, and a few weeks later I was married, so it changed plans again. But again, I was open to changes. I was open to what's next. What what what's the risk, and when the risk when the upper come si dice in inglese? Mm, Reward is bigger than you know what you risk. You do it, and from that, becoming from a hairdresser, became a poker player, and then from poker player, I was involved in music, and then involved in photography, and today still involved in photography. That's pretty good. I love it. So if you want to go, and even if you want to go from here to Italy, definitely done. Do it. I mean, why not? Why not? First of all, with the pension that people take in America, you can have a very, very easy life in Italy if you live in a small town. Bigger town like Milan, Rome can be expensive. The big town in the south, no, they're much cheaper. But big town, middle Italy or north, they can be expensive. Let me see. Some comment. I cannot read the comment on TikTok. Sorry, only this one. Only from Facebook. Kick and the other one. View. Zoom out. Full side. Upper side. Then photography. I start with Getty Images a few years ago, maybe 5, 6 years ago, and develop into me submitting pictures for stock images. Stock images are pictures that are there, and you buy the license to use those images for stuff like billboards, magazine spreads, or book covers, and pretty rewarding. Um, but then my real love was to create content on platforms like at first was Periscope, which I really like it. I don't know if any of you remember Periscope. Then was Facebook. No, it was MySpace. MySpace was before Periscope. Then Periscope. Then um, Facebook. After Facebook, Instagram, and I pick up YouTube later because I always thought was like impossible. But then I start to use some of my video for YouTube. And they went crazy good. So I build a good followers. So I'm um, putting more time on it, and I love it. YouTube is a very good family and is clean. You cannot really be associated with stuff that is not good because they cut you off pretty soon. So I like that. There's always this comment from Kick. Must have bots. Kick have bots. I'm gonna put the invite link in the chat, and if you guys want to come into this, if it is, just click the link. It's there, right? And come in. Okay, let me tell you a story how tough it is to grow up in a small city in Italy. My father was always jumping from job to job when I was a kid. There was a little bit of a depression in the 70s in Italy, in Gaeta, especially where I'm from. And my father don't have a steady job. So we also jump from a house to another house. And every time you change house, you have to change your friends. And because they stay and play in the area only, even if it's a small city. But when you are like 5, 6 years old, you can already go and play in the street, but no, of course, go in the other side of town. So uh, the biggest memory come when I turned 10 and I moved for the last time to a house that was owned by my uncle, and it just gave free. The tenants that was there for many years left. So my father got the offer. He take it right away. So we went to live in this little house, and they started the fights. So the fights that shaped me to where I am right now. What happened is that when you go to a little place, they have to kind of take your status. And to take the status, you have to fight the alpha male of the place, the beta male. You start with the C, with the gamma male, and go up the steps. And every day was a fight. And from 10 to 13, I must fought most of the tough guys in Italy. That's how it is. And sometimes you go back home okay. Sometimes you back home with a black eye, with your nose bleeding. But most of those fights end up with friendship that still now are very strong, because there was really never a time where that the parents fought too. Like one time, a guy get a little stick of wood and stick it in my eyes, and that's when my father went and told his father. And the father of this guy, instead of being mad at my father, beat up the guy again. So it's like, and after actually, I I went to confront him again without he having the stick, and that's when he understand that he cannot beat me with naked hand. That was like how you grew up in the 70s in Italy. There was early 80s actually back then. Then the school starts. Nautical school, the one I did, there was all guys. Was about 350 guys and two, three girls. But those two, three girls look more guys than some of the guys that were there. So they were very tough because, like Borat, uh, they have to go to work on a ship. So, you know what I mean? You know, there was no such a thing as a LGBTQ back then, but some of those girls were so manly. Mm, what else? Across from my school, there was a lyceum. So mine was a nautical school for deck cadet. And then the one across was a lyceum, scientifico, was called scientific lyceum, which is where you do more math and science. Uh, we were doing more navigation, and we know about machine. We know about uh, even how to do some first life saving surgery, like take off an appendix or something like that. Because on the ship, the captain is the most important of all, and to become that, you have to know a few things. Also, how to celebrate a funeral and a wedding. That's something that don't everybody knows, but they have to know it in order to become captain. The first 2 years of the high school there, you also have to learn two things. One is how to swim, so because they have to give you a certificate that you can save other people, and so you can also be a lifeguard. And many of us did lifeguard the summertime because you have that title. And another was how to learn how to, come si dice in inglese? Remare, how to paddle a boat with your thing, because like, if you cannot do that, how you save, you know, other people. So they teach you those two things, and you do that for the first 2 years. Then the last 3 years, they actually teach you how to drive small boats, and they give you a license that is for all yacht up to 25 meters long for international water, which is a very good license to have. I still have it today. Expire every 10 years, so that's something good. And then they give you, of course, the possibility to become a captain on a huge ship, which take you about 5 years of work in order to have that another exam to do that. So you start as a deck cadet, third official, second, first, and then you become captain of a ship. That's what I was gonna do. But then at the first time I went on the boat, I was supposed to be there for 6 months. After a few months, I was like, I don't like this. We were like 34 people, and 40 Italian, 30 were Indians, and was an oil ship, huge. But when it was empty, when you are in the middle of the ocean, you start to do left and right when the weather is not good, and there is no fun. It's really no fun. So I say, no, I don't want to do this. That's when I call my friend Aldo, my friend Diego de la Palma, which he knew very well, Aldo Coppola, and I told him, you know what, I want to do hair. Let's do it. And I went to Milan, and I became a hairdresser. My client were the coolest client ever. I remember um, people in my work were pretty much jealous of me because I have to work with Paola Barale, Valeria Marini, Pamela Prati, Mara Venier, all the soubrette in Italy. They knew me and they want me. First, there was this show every Sunday on TV. It's called Buona Domenica, which I was there from early morning to the evening. After 10, 12 hours of work, we were going all together in the middle of Rome in this place called Brillo Parlante um, in Hotel Valadier, and the best evening ever. It was crazy. Wartime. Where I used to drive a black Ducati Monster, and to go to work was like 5 minutes from my house to Cinecittà, where I did this job, and then it was like 15 minutes to the middle of Rome, where my salon was Via della Vittoria. It was in the middle of Rome. Just back then, with the bike, you can go anywhere. Now they're all like they're called ZTL. That is a place where you car cannot go. Watching. What's up? I'm really impressed in your. Okay, nothing. There's a kick is all scam. I don't like that. I should just live stream on YouTube and X. So there was my life as a hairdresser. Then when I came to Vegas, on the way here, I was so excited. On the plane, me and Ricardo, my bestie, we were like dreaming of what to do, what not to do. What if we stay there? What if we don't? And we were both single at the time, or at least that's what I thought, because I was seeing a couple of people there, but I just thought that we were friends, and they thought that I was the boyfriend. When I discovered later, um, when I came to America with Ricardo, he wanted to stay here too, but um, his mom was no ready to be by herself, so he decided to stay there, and then he met a beautiful girl, so everything worked out good. But when I came here, then I met Jennifer. A few weeks later, we were married, so it was very easy for me to stay here. And she was already very successful, so I don't have a pressure to start right away. But after a few months, I opened my own beauty salon here, and it was fun at first to see to have a salon with the same amount of people that my boss have it in America in Rome, but I noticed something different. There was not loyalty. The hairdresser here, when they open, for example, across the street, open a new salon, you lose half of the people that work for you to just go because it's the newest part. They don't have the loyalty that most old school places like Europe, for example, France, Spain, Italy, have. No, like you usually work for a place forever there. It's tough also to find a job. In America, you just rent a chair, most likely, and they see a nicer looking chair across the street, they go there. That's it. There's not really um, loyalty. So I'm farting with my elbow on the table. What else? So I start watching Jennifer playing over and over. Like I was like her bodyguard, her driver. I was sitting behind her, make sure that nobody take advantage of her. And slowly, slowly with time, um, people feel very comfortable with me around. So they will show me their hands, even if they were against my wife, because at the time they noticed that I was money. It was completely serious because they can trust me. And that's when I start to understand the games. And then after a few years of that, 2, 3 years, and me asking the right question, Daniel Negranio, um, Jennifer Besti, told me, "Why don't you try a tournament?" I was like, "Okay." So I jump in a super satellite for the main event of the World Series of Poker, and end up me heads up with a guy. And I was at the time you can also decide to take the money because um, they were like $10,000 first place, and the guy was like, "I'm not gonna shop with you," and I was like, ah, so bad. And I remember it was Todd at the time. Todd Bronson was like, "Kick his ass," and I play him. I won the chair at the main event. It was the first time ever, so I got to play the main event, and it was still at the Binions at the time. And the year after, we moved at the Rio, and that year I cashed 7 times, 8 times, which was the record. And for me, as a beginner, to cash so many times, I really raised some eyebrow. And Marcel Lusk at the time created this team of young guns. Was me, Luca Pagano, Miseraci, was Patrick Antonius, and Noah Boken, and we were the Circle of Outlaw. It was very cool to be part of them. Um, we did a couple show around. I meet with them some people very interesting in poker and some actors that I'm still friends right now, like Daniel McVicker, which I should have on the show one day. And we were just doing our thing. That was fun for a while until online gaming came in, and it just bring a new wave of player in the game. Now I was used to play with Darmarillo Slim and Peggy and all those guys that from the old school, Laurel Bronson, Chip Reese, uh, Chao Zheng, all very very good players. And then you can play real poker. Then you know that if you did that play against one of them, they could lay down a hand. Now anymore with online player, they were like mathematician, even sometimes better than old school player, but it was completely different game. So I did not enjoy no more, and there was not the same vibe when you were sitting in the game. They are on the phone doing stuff. Before they were like a more passion. There was a community. You create friendship that lasts forever. Now you're playing with a bunch of people that are on the phone, playing 3 games, watching other stuff, and this was not that nice no more. So I stopped. I just do it once in a while if I feel like it's a good tournament, and it's stupid not to play, so I go and play. But that's the evolution of poker. And if you see the final tables right now, they're all a bunch of empty books to me. Like um, remember the time when Phil Lively, Daniel Negranio, and Phil Helmut are at the same table. That's fun game to watch. But when you see all these new internet guys completely without personality on the thing, I don't really want to watch no more. So it's not funny. Who remember I Stakes Poker? That was a good show. Hello, hi, Esther. So poker, in the meantime, became famous on TV, and that's when still things kind of went out of hand. And um, I was one of the pioneers from Italy. It was me and Luca Pagano, um, another guy, just very, very few. Now there is a lot, like San Martino, one of the best player out there. And the Dario Minieri was a funny one. He have always a scarf from Rome. He did good for a while. Then, poker is ups and down. But when you hit low, he can go very low. So hope he's doing good. I don't talk to him for a while. Another classy guy was Dario Minieri, great guy. Cristiano Blanco. I remember there was a, and we used to meet a lot in my house for dinners. What a good time. I like to put a background music, but every time I do, the audio got fucked up completely. Any of you want to come here? I'm gonna start the comment, and I'm gonna show you. You see down there, studio restreamer. If you paste and copy that, they are invited to join the chat live. So if you have a camera on your phone, you can do it from your phone. You want to come? Come in. You're invited. All of you. If I open, I cannot see the chat. Why? Mhm, mhm. I'm from Gaeta, that is a small city between Rome and Napoli. Naples. It's called Gaeta because back then they say, a legend says, but no legend that always it's like theory, conspiracy theories. There is always some truth in it. Um, Enea coming up with a boat from Greece, it lost one of his babysitter, Caieta, and was put to rest in this place, in this beach, that then became Caieta, Gaeta, and that's why it's called Gaeta. Between Rome and Naples, beautiful. The beaches are yellow, white almost. The water is one of the cleanest in all Europe, and it's beautiful. So, but because you are in the middle between Rome and Naples, people from Naples call you Rome. Yes, and I live in Las Vegas, so I'm not far from California. One of my boys goes to school there in San Diego, college. Um, so let me take off this from the stream. Um, what happened is that when people from Napoli come to Gaeta for vacation, because summertime everybody's there, mm, they call us Romani from Rome. People from Rome call us Napoletani because the slang is mixed between the two. But as soon as you slip a word that is in Naples, then people from Rome that only speak Roman slang, they think that we are from Napoli. And then the same thing, the people from Napoli, they only speak Naples slang, and we slip a word from Roma, and that's it. We are Roman. So you always feel like a little bastard. Good though. That is worst. Where in California are you? I go in a few weeks for the meet Daddy's Day or something like that for boys in San Diego University. My son love it. He said that it's the coolest place ever. I used to go there for once a year. I stay in La Jolla. So, what is it recording to you? Hmm. Bakersfield. Okay, I know what it is. I want to try to do this because I need this piece of recording. So I'm gonna record this. San Diego is beautiful, yeah. Where I was last time that I really like it next to San Diego. No, it was Newport Beach. I really enjoy. Um, have you ever heard Cabo Gol? What's Cabo Gol? Cabo Gol. Uh, Capocollo. Come on, guys. Prosciutto. What prosciutto? Prosciutto. Non si dice prosciutto. Prosciutto. Some slang there, but nobody say. San Diego is probably one of my favorite city. I just don't like California regime, should say. Yeah, but definitely California is one of the best places in America. As a weather, beauty, but you are in California, you are like at 1 o'clock, and last drink. Why they should tell you when is your last drink? If you want to stay there until 4 in the morning, why not? I'm from Las Vegas, so it's one of the most open places in the world, and so I like it. I like it here. Italians say they make no sense. Oh, do you guys know that we don't use angel hair in Italy or fettuccine alfredo? There's no such thing. No, you go any restaurant in Italy, unless you're going to a tourist place, you don't see fettuccine alfredo. There's no place. There's one place, it's called Alfredo in Rome, where they come up with that just because someone was sick. So they mix some cheese and butter just to get it to do, and then become famous everywhere. You think so about the politics too? That is crazy to live in a place where they take so much out of your hard work? I wonder. Okay, guys, I'll see you in a little bit. I'm going to try to do a podcast with one of my boys, and I'll see you in a while. Yeah, Vegas is very fast and very fun to live in. Very, very fun. Talk to you